Hello, bonjour, buenos dias. My name's Evan Doggett. I've been training dogs professionally for well over a decade and using e-collars in that time. Break. And in this video, my goal is to help you decide whether e-collars, using that tool, is going to be right for you and your dog, because every dog is different and every dog owner, pet parent, however you identify, is different. And it can be a very scary topic, because I'm sure you've read articles, I'm sure you've seen videos where people are like, never, it's the worst, it will ruin your relationship with your dog, you're going to hurt your dog, you're going to be dependent on this tool forever. And I want to address those things and figure out also the situations in which to use them and the situations in which not to use them, because I get messages every day from people on this channel and my other socials asking me, is this right for my dog? Or I tried this and it completely backfired. Now, the e-collar is like anything else, like a leash, like food. It's a tool in which to help better communicate with your dog. And so if you have aggression, sure, it can be used in that situation, not just to punish behaviors. And you could put bad behaviors as a whole list. So aggression, reactivity, jumping on the counters, jumping on you, on your guests, on your kids, biting, nipping, mouthing. These are all situations where, yes, you can effectively and clearly communicate no, that you want your dog to stop a behavior. But unfortunately, many people buy the tool to punish a behavior, and then that's all they do. But that can create a lot of confusion, because imagine you had a collar on your neck and you didn't really remember that it was there, it was new, or you forgot that it was there, and then you went and touched a tree and then you felt the sensation on your neck. It's going to take many repetitions for you to put together, oh, it was because I touched the tree, and imagine the tree was moving, and imagine the tree had more value to you than a tree does. You might be a tree hugger, I don't know, and that's like sacrilegious or a daily activity. Before long, I mean, initially you might just become paranoid. You might go, what the hell happened? Are trees after me? And that is a huge fear and a huge concern, and a legitimate concern, that your dog is going to become paranoid and go, I don't know what's going on here. But that's not real e-collar training, is it? It's just punishing your dog. You could do that with a lot of things and not need to spend hundreds of dollars on an e-collar, even though cheap ones exist. And for anybody out there just looking to straight up punish their dog, you don't need an expensive e-collar, but I'm also not recommending that that's how you go about it. And that is how you ultimately ruin your relationship with your dog, is just punishing them and not spending any time doing positive training. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's always annoying, but how annoying to your dog. Nagging them and hollering at them constantly is very annoying to your dog and to you and your family members and your neighbors and everybody else. And so using the e-collar, you can use it with a very, very small amount of pressure. When you use a good one, like an e-collar Technologies, this is a 4-dog unit. You could do 1 dog on it, or there's this other unit here. This is probably the style that you're most likely used to seeing. This is up to a 2-dog unit. It's got momentary stimulation, continuous stimulation, electric stimulation, and then vibration. And so you can use the tool to get your dog's attention, but you have to put them through a conditioning process. I've got a whole course that shows you how to do that. The conditioning stuff, I've got free videos that I'll link down below, or you can just look in the e-collar section of this channel and learn how to do it properly the first time. Because ultimately, the thing you want to do is condition your dog to realize that, hey, that sensation on your neck, it's actually coming from me. And when you turn it off by doing the behavior that I want, that I've already taught you beforehand, then it will, not only will the negative sensation turn off, but also I'm going to reward you with play and food and treats and everything good. And ultimately freedom. Like, my dogs get to be out here off leash, enjoying nature, and I don't have to worry about, like, for example, my little pit bull. I have no idea where she is right now. But if I hit the button, she will come back to me. She might be a little ways off, and I don't know exactly where she is, but she's trained to know that that sensation means come back to dad. And it's great. She'll be back here in, hopefully short amount of time. She might be chasing a bunny right now, which I get to let her do. She was just chasing bunnies a minute ago. And it's great, the bunny, she's not going to catch the bunny, and if she did, she knows an out command, or I get dinner that night, one or the other. And so I've got 4 very unique, there she is. There you go, girl. And so she knows that, oh, what a good girl. Oh, yeah. And like, does she look sad or angry? No, because she knows that ultimately, she gets to go and be free again. So when it comes to your dog, and is this right for your dog? I've got, like I said, 4 very unique dogs out here. That little pit, is very high in prey drive. She will chase anything that moves. And when she came to me from Costa Rica, she thought Pomeranians were little Costa Rican fuzzy fuzzball street rats, and she wanted to kill them. And so I was able, after she was conditioned, to punish that behavior and go, wrong, don't do that. And then there's a whole reintroduction and socialization phase that has very little to do with e-collars. But even when she gets slightly overstimulated, I can give a slight little nudge to go, hey, before she gets to that point where she wants to kill the little fuzzball street rats, and AKA Pomeranians. Equally, my lab over here, anybody can train a lab. Labs are the easiest dogs in the world. But when she was 6 months to 2 years, her genetic drive to get in the water and chase ducks and geese and all that, which I encourage because I used to do a lot of fowl hunting back then, I encouraged that behavior. But equally, like, she would be out to sea, probably drowned, because her drive is so high for that. The little Cairn Terrier, also fairly high in prey drive, and he's very reactive to sounds and noises and things. So I need to be able to communicate and use the tool to add touch to my voice commands, because we both know that sometimes our dogs just don't want to listen to us, or they can't physically hear us. I think we forget about that a lot. They're running through the woods, they're barking at the door, and you're like, quiet, quiet, come here. They can't hear you. They're so loud and they're so fixated in the moment. But physical touch will always break through sound and adrenaline, and that's why there's 100 individual levels with a good e-collar. The cheap ones say they have 100 individual levels, but the problem is if you put it in your own hand or your neck or your tongue or wherever you want to put it, you'll find out very quickly, 1, you don't feel, 2, you kind of feel, 3 is a lot, and then everything after 3 to 100 feel like 4 to 100 all feels the same. That's why they're cheap, they don't work, they're inconsistent, they're mostly not waterproof, they can go off randomly. You do not want to, if you're going to invest in your dog's freedom, do it with a proper e-collar and get a course. I've got a course that breaks you through all the ways of using it and not using it. And so 4 very unique dogs here. And my shepherd, very playful, likes other dogs, but he is an intact male. So there's certain situations that I can't expect that I can just correct him with an e-collar and he's gonna love other intact male dogs. It's not gonna happen. I need to factor in that he is a unique dog that loves to follow his nose, that loves to investigate people and dogs and whatever, and I need to keep him under control, and that's the main function of it. So then when I don't want them to be under control and I want them to have freedom, so when we come home, they're actually chill. They actually get to, relax and not be driving me crazy all the time. If I had to keep these dogs on a leash all the time, it would be an absolute nightmare. So almost no matter the size, the smallest dog I've ever trained, ironically a Pomeranian, this wasn't a setup, but maybe like an 8-pound Pomeranian, they come with different contacts to get through different fur, but also to help you size down. The collars themselves come in different sizes with e-collar technologies. All the way from a 7-8-pound Pomeranian to pushing 200-pound Mastiffs and Great Danes. Very, very large dogs. You can even add a second receiver to the same button, because some dogs, I've had golden retrievers, happy-go-lucky golden retrievers that were just too happy-go-lucky, like, you know, those batshit crazy ones where they're like, get a golden retriever, everything will be calm and easy. Some of them are nuts. And same thing with German Shepherds. Some of them are just too over the top. They're not aggressive. Some of them are, and we double up for that too, because at 100, they go, I don't care. I literally don't feel this. It's just amping me up. That can happen too if you don't do it properly and you don't explore different levels and, of course, use a leash in this whole initial process. It can make behaviors worse, absolutely. But when you start with low level, low distraction, having the right collar, not a bunch of dogs around, not a bunch of people around, and you feel confident in doing it because you start so low that you can't screw it up, like they can just barely feel it, then your dog slowly learns, hey, this sensation always leads to good things. My dogs get so excited when they see the e-collar. People mess it up by, you know, being like mad at their dogs, then putting the e-collar on, putting it tight, and then start hitting buttons and screaming no. I don't think you're that kind of person if you're watching this video. So any size, any age, the oldest dog I ever trained starting out was a 12-year-old aggressive German Shepherd. She lived another 4 years. We got through the aggression with other dogs. We got through the aggression with people, and she just got to live an off-leash, safe life. She certainly wore a muzzle still in a lot of situations, just as a preventative, but she got to live her best life off-leash. So can you hurt your dog with an e-collar? Absolutely. Will you unintentionally turn it up too high at some point and it's a corrective and it's not fun and you screwed up in that moment? Yes, but just like if you stepped on their foot, they don't like hold it against you forever. A German short-haired pointer will hold it against you for a couple of months, maybe a couple of days. But when they understand where the sensation has come from and they know that it means default to obedience, come back to you, sit, lay down, go to their bed, then they go, whoops, even though it was too much. And then you get to be like, hey, ice cream and treats and food and like, let's move on. And then your dog very quickly will forgive you for screwing up. It's not undoable. Some people have started with a bad e-collar, or they've started and it was just too much too soon with a sensitive dog, which that little Cairn Terrier, extremely sensitive. He never goes above 10 on the smallest collar, which I will take off and put on my tongue. Like there's lots of videos of me doing that. He's extremely sensitive. He doesn't need a lot of pressure. The German Shepherd, on the other hand, if he gets riled up, he needs quite a bit of pressure. And that's just like, by pressure, I mean 1 out of 100, how high I'm using the stimulation. Sometimes you can condition the dog to just the vibration, but initially the vibration is like pretty startling for a dog. So it's very hard to condition them to it. You need to be in a very like busy environment, or at least very distracting, so that the sensation in relation to the distraction isn't overwhelming. Like if you just did it in your kitchen, your dog was sitting there and hit the vibration, a lot of them will get freaked out by it. And that's not the goal. The goal isn't to startle your dog. The goal isn't to scare your dog from something, unless it is. For example, I want my little pit bull to be scared of porcupines because she has tried to dismember one and she lost significantly. So tons of pain for her with the porcupine, tons of financial pain and time pain, and just the sight of seeing my dog after doing that. But she didn't know that. I don't think they have porcupines in Costa Rica, or maybe they do and she wanted revenge. But now she goes around porcupines. She goes, no, because I punished that event. But if I didn't start by conditioning her properly to the tool, she would have never known that that was right. One of the very best aspects of e-collar training, again, when done properly, is you get to reinforce the behaviors that your dog already knows so that they do them faster and better and longer. A stay, let's say you send them to their bed, you teach them place or go to your bed, but yet they keep leaving, especially when the doorbell rings. You get to set up those scenarios and then teach them, hey, it's slightly and slightly and slightly more annoying every time you break. And when you stay, you get a reward. Or what about recall? You want them to turn as soon as you say come, not once they're done smelling or after they go say hi to the people and their kids. You want them to come right away. And so you can phase off the e-collar when your dog learns, hey, I can avoid the pressure of the e-collar and get the reward, which doesn't have to happen every time. Sometimes you get to release them again to maybe go say hi to the kids in a calmer way, because you can apply pressure as they're running towards the kids to teach them, hey, slow down. You can do it with a ball and then translate it over to kids. My lab used to love to jump up on people, but I taught her a remote sit, which essentially just means when you feel the sensation, no matter what's going on, put your bum on the ground. So I don't even have to say sit. So she would run up to people, I would hit the button, she would sit, and they'd go, oh my God, what a well-trained dog. And then after a while, that just became her behavior. That became the default for her to say, oh, just this is what I do, and then I get the affection and I get to go over to people. And if you don't want that, you can just recall your dog every time that they see people, and that becomes the default. Your dog runs back to you when they see a dog or a deer or a car, whatever it is. You can reinforce the behaviors that either your dog already knows, or you can help teach them up close or at a distance. Your leash walking can get so much better, because instead of every time pulling the leash, you can hit the button at a very low level or as high as you need to teach the dog, hey, avoid pulling the leash. You can teach a perfect heel or a relaxed walk where they're just not dragging you down the road. E-collars are the best. Can you train your own dog to an e-collar? Absolutely you can, because it's not complicated. You just need to have the right steps, and then if at any point you have questions, having the ability to then reach out, show video of like, here's the situation with my dog being reactive or jumping up on my kids or not coming when called, or I'm not sure if I can let them off leash yet. All that's broken down in the course, but you can always book a one-on-one call as well. If you have questions or comments about e-collar training and whether it's right for you and your dog, I hope this was helpful, but put them in the comments below, and know what you loved. Bye, meow.